Match Day 7 of the 2026 World Cup just gave us an absolutely wild clash of generations. Welcome to this explainer, where we're breaking down the titans desperately holding their ground while a fresh, fearless wave of talent steps directly into the spotlight. It was a beautifully chaotic day of football, filled with shocking draws, historic milestones, and some serious late-game heroics. So here's our agenda for this explainer. We've got legends and changing guards, frustration for Portugal, England's high-scoring thriller, and finally, drama for Ghana and Colombia. Let's dive right in. Kicking things off with part 1, legends and changing guards. Which leads us directly into part 2, frustration for Portugal. 0. Literally 0. In his 23rd career World Cup game, playing the full 90 minutes, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't test the keeper even once. I mean, everyone expected Portugal to just cruise past DR Congo, right? Instead, Ronaldo is now sitting on a staggering 10-game goal drought for his country across major tournaments. He finished with just 25 touches of the ball all game. That is the second fewest of his entire career in a World Cup start. Just wild. Now, to be fair, just stepping onto the pitch is historic for him at this point. At 41 years old and 123 days old, Ronaldo officially became the oldest outfield player to ever start a World Cup game. He joins Lionel Messi as the only men to play in 6 different World Cups. But as we just saw, having that historic presence doesn't always magically translate to immediate effectiveness on the pitch. And honestly, you can see this changing of the guard so perfectly when you compare the struggling veteran to Jude Neves. While Ronaldo is stuck in this 5-game scoring drought specifically in World Cups, which ties his longest ever, by the way, Jude Neves is out here representing the future. He just became the 3rd youngest Portuguese scorer in World Cup history at only 21 years old. That is a 20-year age gap. It's literal proof of the next generation arriving right before our eyes. And here's where Portugal's massive tactical dilemma really shows up. They held a suffocating 75% possession. That is the highest of any match so far in this tournament. Yet, somehow, they actually managed fewer shots than Congo DR. Think about that for a second. Having 75% of the ball, all that control, and only generating 7 shots, while letting your opponent get off 8 shots with barely a quarter of the possession, that is a glaring, glaring mark of inefficiency. And boy, did Congo DR make them pay for it. Yoin Wissa stepped up and scored Congo DR's first ever World Cup goal, and this was only their 4th overall World Cup game. That goal secured a historic 1-1 draw, which means, for the very first time ever, Congo DR avoided defeat at a World Cup. Just incredible for them. Meanwhile, Portugal has now somehow failed to win 4 of their last 5 World Cup openers. So that brings us to our next major storyline. While Portugal couldn't turn all that massive possession into goals, how did England handle a highly seasoned, top 15 ranked Croatian team? Let's get into part 3, England's high-scoring thriller. England put on an absolute clinic, grabbing a massive 4-2 victory over Croatia. And the historical context here is just crazy. This was England's first win against a top 15 FIFA-ranked side at the finals since beating Argentina way back in 2002. Even wilder, this was their first 4-2 win in a World Cup match since the famous 1966 final against West Germany. Plus, they've now won 3 straight opening matches for the first time in the team's history. This match really anchored that whole theme of shifting eras we've been talking about. It's an incredible contrast. On one hand, you have the ageless Luka Modric making his 199th career appearance for Croatia, literally standing on the absolute brink of the 200-cap club. And on the flip side, you've got England's Bukayo Saka hitting his 50th cap at just 24 years and 285 days old. That makes him the 4th youngest English player to ever hit that amazing milestone. But wow, we absolutely have to talk about Jude Bellingham. He came out totally on fire, scoring just 1 minute and 25 seconds into the second half. That's the fastest second-half goal in England's World Cup history. He became the youngest of only 5 Europeans to score in 3 consecutive major tournaments. And, incredibly, he just joined absolute legends like Pelé and Michael Owen as only the 3rd man to ever score in 2 different World Cups before his 23rd birthday. No big deal, right? Of course, the veterans still had plenty to say about all this. Harry Kane further cemented his incredible legacy by scoring, which makes him just the 2nd player, alongside David Beckham, to score for England at 3 different World Cups. This was also his 10th World Cup goal, tying Gary Lineker for the most by any English player in history. Oh, and yeah, he extended his own record for World Cup penalty goals with 5. Because let's be real, it wouldn't be a Harry Kane record without a penalty. Moving on to our final section, Part 4, Drama for Ghana and Colombia. You know, matches really are won and lost at the absolute death. Back in that Portugal match, Bruno Fernandes managed to create his only chance of the entire game in the 92nd minute, which was too little, way too late. But Caleb Urenki proved exactly how you close out a game. He scored a thrilling winner for Ghana against Panama in the 95th minute. That actually stands as the latest regulation goal ever scored by Ghana in World Cup history. And across the rest of the matches, the old guard absolutely refused to go quietly. Carlos Queiroz tied the all-time record by managing in his 5th consecutive World Cup. Meanwhile, Jordan Ayew became the oldest player to ever feature for Ghana at a World Cup, doing it at 34 years and 280 days old. And let's not forget James Rodriguez, who joined Carlos Valderrama and Freddy Rincon as the only Colombians to play in 3 separate World Cups. Now that thrilling 1-0 victory for Ghana wasn't just your standard group stage win. It was their 6th overall World Cup victory. That officially ties them with Nigeria for the absolute most World Cup wins by any African team in tournament history. Just a truly monumental achievement for them. Over in the Colombia match, Luis Diaz was just an absolute force in their 3-1 victory against Uzbekistan. He became the first Colombian to get both a goal and an assist in a World Cup game since James Rodriguez did it way back in 2014. And that assist, it wasn't just a simple little pass. It was a stunning 30-yard delivery. That's the longest assist by a Colombian in World Cup play since 2018. Ultimately, all his hard work secured Colombia's 10th World Cup win, making them only the 5th South American team to reach that milestone. But hey, even in defeat, Uzbekistan gave us an incredible underdog moment to cheer for. By finding the back of the net against Colombia, Uzbekistan became the 4th nation to score their first ever World Cup goal right here at this 2026 tournament. They join Congo DR, Jordan, and Curacao. We actually haven't seen this many teams score their maiden World Cup goal in a single tournament since 2006. It's just fantastic to witness. So, looking back at all the incredible records and moments from Matchday 7, I want to leave you with this. Between the fading legends fighting for one last triumph and the rising stars forcefully seizing the moment, whose legacy will ultimately define the 2026 World Cup? Thanks for tuning into this explainer.